And welcome to playoff hockey from the Rec Center in St. Louis Park. Kevin Falness along with Tommy Renfrew. Welcome to ParkTV as we bring you quarterfinal action in Section 2A between the St. Louis Park Orioles and the Orono Spartans. Let's look at your goaltending matchup. To our broadcast right, wearing the white home jerseys flanked in orange, it is the number 4 seeded St. Louis Park Orioles. In goal, they've got senior Parker Jurek, a 9-7-3 record, a 3.51 goals against average, an 879 save percentage, and 1 shutout, 41 saves in the first matchup back in February, a 4-4 tie at Orono. For the number 5 seeded Orono Spartans in those red jerseys, they come in with a 9-12-4 record. In goal for them, senior Max Lewin, a 6-9-4 record, 4.12 goals against average, and an 883 save percentage. He made 35 saves in that previous mentioned matchup, 4-4 tie against St. Louis Park back in February. Again, that's Tommy Renfrew. I'm Kevin Falness, and we're ready to drop the puck on playoff hockey. You ready to go, Tommy?
I certainly am. It's going to be a good one. Another game. We're going to be with two very tightly contested teams, very equal in skill, and like you say, the last time they played just about 12 days ago, they tied 4-4.
We'll get into the matchups, but the big guy to watch for the opposition, Jackson Knight, number 34. He's out there on the starting line for the Spartans. Comes with a 39 goals on the year, 4th in the state in goal scoring. So that's a guy you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on, and hopefully the Orioles do just that. Play is underway in the Orono end. A rebound almost for Lewin. He's able to jump on it and thwart the effort by Purdy. And maybe that was McCoy that was jumping into the slot trying to get it past the goaltender. And they were able to keep it out. Lewin with a big save right off the bat.
Yeah, that was Liam McCoy. Good job by Anklem there to keep the puck in along the boards down in front of us. Get a shot on net and rebound. Let's hope that Lewin gives a few more little rebounds up.
Now we get that top line for St. Louis Park, the offensive zone faceoff. Hurdy gets it off for Culp. He rings it up the board for Anklem, but that just gets past him, and that leaves it for Schmull to fight for it on the blue line. Leaves it for Anklem. Anklem in his own end does a little twirl back behind Parker Jurek. Anklem with it, loses the handle a little bit at the blue line, and instead of skidding out of control, it's taken away here by Orono. The near circle, back behind Jurek. Over now for Schmull. 19 goals on the season for the junior defenseman for St. Louis Park. Behind the cage, here comes Orono, centering pass. That fails to click, and now here comes Finn Ryder. Head of steam up center ice. Bothered by 3 red jerseys, so he'll just hit the blue line, dump it in on Lewin, and it's an easy glove save for him, his 2nd of the contest.
Yeah, not a bad play by Finn there. Get the puck deep, get a shot on goal, kind of get things settled in here. I think that, like you said, they have that superstar Jackson Knight, 39 goals on the season. Their first line is either, that's what gets it done for them. They're a superstar first line, and then they're, I'm not saying they're weak, but that's definitely where the Orioles are going to have to take advantage.
Some would call them top heavy, and that is because of Jackson Knight. Not only the stats that I talked about on this season, now 93 goals and 170 points in 100 games in that Orono sweater. 9 career game winners. Hopefully, if the Orioles can do a good job of keeping him quiet, they have a real good opportunity to move on in the section playoffs. Sometimes that's easier said than done. We'll see what happens here. DeLang with it for the Spartans. Battle of the Birds here in St. Louis Park on a glorious Thursday evening as playoff hockey is in the air. Puck goes all the way out to center ice, floats into the Orono end, and here they come, led by Tolliver.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Broderson does when Orono has their first line out there. If he tries to match, he does have last change as the home team.
I'd have to imagine they're going to put a blanket on Jackson Knight, number 34, in red. Not out there now. Still a nice chance there for the Spartans. Kicked aside by Jurek. Still in the park end, in the far corner. Thrown in on net by Jackson Knight. With it again at the left circle, trying to wheel and deal. He was blanketed that time by Nicky Moran. Gets it out to center ice. Dumped in at the red line. No icing on that one. Anklem lets it go to Schmall in the far corner, and he deals it up to McCoy, who touches it at center ice, but that won't negate the icing. So a face-off coming here deep in Park territory. 14:38 left to go in period number 1.
Yeah, it'll be also be interesting to see how often Orono throws that first line out there. If they actually rotate 3, maybe even probably not 4 lines, but or if they go 1-2, 1-3.
A little bit of rough stuff in front of Jurek, who mostly just lost his footing. Puck is down, won by Orono. Backhand flip, caught by Jurek, and we'll do the face-off again. Just the second shot of the game for Orono. Park has 1. Just 2.5 minutes into this contest.
Orioles have their 3rd line out there right now.
Nicky Moran on the dot. Taken by Orono in the far corner. Now at the far half wall, at the blue line, kept in by Orono. Takes the shot, redirected, but goes harmlessly into the corner. Back up top to the right point. Takes the shot from a long ways out. That'll be Lacey with the shot. Sam Lacey, number 25 in the red jersey. Long ways out. Jurek has a pretty good chance to stop it, and he does just that.
And here comes Orono right back with their first line again, where they probably had a game time, probably a 20-second break. Maybe a 60-second real-time break, but they're right back out there.
It's funny because when Park comes out there, they look for that number 34, and right now it's Anklem at his side. Schmall with it. Finds Haggerty. Up the boards to McCoy, but he does so just offsides. That was just a little strong, and we'll get a face-off now in front of Mitch Hall and the Orono bench.
Yeah, Broderson maybe, as much as his forward line out there against their top line, maybe wants to make sure that they have the right defensive pairing out there for him.
They must have called this an intentional offside because the faceoff will actually go in front of the Park bench. Haggerty on the draw. Make that, scratch that, not Haggerty, that was Hurdy. Won cleanly by Hurdy. Off for Schmall, over to Anklem. Finn with it. Bumped off the puck rudely, but no penalty on it. And Schmall to the rescue. Dumps one in on net. Flutters into the near corner. Park in their offensive zone. Kept in by Anklem momentarily, but rescued by Schmall. He'll dump it in. Shy of the red line. Played by the Spartans. Almost lost the handle. Lewin thought about playing it. Left it for his defense. Goes all the way out to center ice. Whacked in by Anklem. And this sets up a great chance for Orono. Saved by Jurek once, but not twice. Orono's on the board. That'll be Blake Tichy on the board with his 6th of the season. And 3.5 minutes in, Orono strikes.
Unlucky bounce there for the Orioles. Anklem had the puck. All he was trying to do was just clear it out of the Orioles' end, because there was 2 players for red that would have had to clear the zone. And I don't know if I didn't see if he fanned on it or if he actually, one of the Orono players got a leg or a skate on it, and it popped right back in. And Orono player standing in the front all alone made the move. Jurek had looks like he got the first save when the rebounder was lying there. Unfortunate break for Minnesota there, or sorry, for the Orioles.
There's the goal call from Howard. They're at center ice. See what that does to the intensity of this hockey game. You know, Park would much rather play with the lead rather than play catch up, but that is the situation at hand here for the hometown Orioles. 3:32 is the time of the goal. Tichy with his 6th of the year, the senior forward. Costly turnover for the Orioles in their defensive zone. There's another one, rescued by Haggerty, and he'll take it out inside the blue line. Touched out by Teddy Rich. Finally dumped in so the Orioles can get a line change. McCoy surveying the situation. He had a stick down. He had a chance to intercept that. Instead it goes into the near half wall. Behind Lewin. Back out to center ice to the rescue. Here's Ollie Culp. One of those seniors here for the Orioles. One of 7 seniors on the roster. Tried to squeeze through that red wall. Didn't happen. Intensity velocity picking up here. Culp with a big hit there. Centering pass for Hurdy.
Yeah!
He scores! Centering pass. Culp finds the captain, and Hurdy goes top twine to tie it at 1.
Great play by the Orioles, and Marty Hurdy buries that one. Beats the goalie high glove side. Culp with an excellent play, keeping that puck down low and just had his eyes up, which was nice. Looking for that someone to pass instead of just taking the puck behind the net and maybe thinking about going all the way around. He looked up when he saw his leading scoring teammate right there, and St. Louis Park right back in it and ties the game at 1.
Huge response for the Orioles. 25th of the year for Hurdy. We talked about his stats leading into that regular season finale. A pair of points there to get to 100. So he just crossed the 100-point mark of his St. Louis Park career. Point number 101 and his 25th goal of the season. Even Steven had a goal apiece. That'll be Hurdy from Culp, 4:47 of period number 1.
Huge goal for St. Louis Park right there to get back in this game. Shots in favor of Orono here, 4-2.
The fact that it comes just 75 seconds after they broke the scoreless battle. Huge response for the Orioles. Now let's see if they can get their first lead of the hockey game. Behind his own cage, this is Cam Jackson in the near corner. Up top from the top of the circles. Opportunity for Orono. It just fails to click. Dumped in by St. Louis Park. Student section blinding half of our ice, but that's fine. We like to see them engaged, and they definitely are.
They certainly do.
Anything that happens directly in front of us at the red line,
We'll
have to get an account here from the gang in front of us.
Big offsides for Orono there, as they would have had a 2-on-1, and Cavern would have been all alone in front on a pass from Knight. Cavern just beat him in.
Top line is out there for the Spartans. Knight, Cavern, and DeLang. You want to know how prolific Jackson Knight is. He's on a 9-game goal streak. That means goals in 9 consecutive games, and he scored 22 goals over that span. 22 goals in 9 games.
Including 6 against Chaska about 5 games ago.
Yep, and he claimed the school lead in goals scored in Orono history. So obviously that's a guy that we have to watch for. We'll stop saluting him now, but that just gives you an idea what the Orioles are up against. You do a good job of stopping him and throw the big body. The kid can throw the body too. That was Knight that actually supplied the big hit there at center ice right in front of Howard. Howard almost spilled his coffee. I assume it's coffee. Another big hit. Liam McCoy getting into it now. Just throws DeLang to the ice. And it sets up Schmull. Knocked out. A nice stick job by the Orono defense. Big line change coming here for the Orioles. Big physicality exchange there. First it was Knight for Orono. Then it was McCoy for St. Louis Park. This will go down as icing. We're going to get another face-off. Game is tied at a goal apiece. 10.5 minutes left to go in the first stanza.
I'm noticing Orono, they're flying wing. They're trusting their defensive pairing down there to, when the Orioles throw the puck in, to get control of that puck and clear it out with a long stretch pass.
Culp with it here, top of the right circle. That just goes wide of the target at the far half wall. Culp tried to keep it in. Instead, he'll send it to his defensive partner, Brian Duncan. Duncan back to Culp. Cross-ice pass picked off by the Spartans. And now here come the Orioles. Up the right wing. This will be Jackson with it. Jackson from the circle. Centering pass for Hurdy. That just fills the click. Goes up top to Duncan. Takes the shot. Saved by Lewitt. Right into his midsection. He gobbled it up. Smothered it. And a faceoff is coming. Shots at this point, even at 4 apiece. Score even as well at 1-1.
Finn Ryder waiting for some garbage in front there. Might be how a lot of goals are scored tonight. Rebounds.
That time of year, that's kind of the way it is, right?
Yeah, I've noticed Lewin has struggled with his puck control on the initial shot. So let's hope we can get some rebounds coming out.
Nicky Moran out there for St. Louis Park. He won it, but he got it off to the wing for Orono. They were able to send it around the cage. And now up at the blue line, they'll send it all the way down. That will be icing. Parker Jurek, nice enough to get it for the ref. And we'll try that face-off again. 7 minutes, 12 seconds into period number 1 of playoff game number 1. It's quarterfinal action in Section 2A between the Orono Spartans and the St. Louis Park Orioles.
St. Louis Park with its first line out.
Purdy with the forward draw on the faceoff. Nobody there. Goes all the way on net. Lewin forced to play it, and will get another faceoff to his left. Big line back out there for Orono, led by Jackson Knight. He's going to take position right in front of Lewin.
And you notice that Coach Broderson switches right up and puts his second line out.
Led by Haggerty. Eddie Rich is out there as well, along with Liam McCoy. Be a good battle between McCoy and Jackson Knight all night long if they continue to exchange body blows, literally and figuratively. Clearing attempt, knocked down by Anklem. Thrown in, touched by McCoy, no icing. Behind the cage, that's intercepted by Liam McCoy. Tries to get it to Haggerty. He does. Whiffs it though, sends it through the blue paint and into the near corner. Teddy Rich. Back up top for Schmoll. That's a wrister. Saved by Lewin.
Nice job by St. Louis Park to get control of the puck and not panic and find Mr. Schmoll streaking down the right side. Unfortunately, Lewin had clear sight of that puck, so that was an easy glove save for him.
Cavern wins this one. Mad scramble to the left, goes all the way through the crease. Back up top, kept in nicely by Anklem. Gets up to the left point though, unable to seal it, and now here comes Cavern. Gets it over for Knight. Knight looks to set it up, saucer pass for Cavern. It just was a little strong, and now here comes Anklem. One guy down behind the net. Caught at the blue line, taken away by Haggerty. Everybody's back on their skates, still 5-on-5 hockey. Cavern behind Jurek. Up top, intercepted at the blue line. Shot towards the goal, shot, score! Ryan DeLang, the sophomore winger, gives Orono back the lead. They lead 2-1, 8:35 left to go in the first.
And an attempted clearing by St. Louis Park, didn't get it out of the Oriole zone. Defenseman was able to keep it in, get a shot, and then the puck came right back out into the slot, and Delane picks it up and buries it for 2-1 Orono lead. Already got 3 goals in the first 8 minutes of this game.
2 of them to the visitor. The 5th-seeded Spartans take the 2-1 advantage over the 4th-seeded St. Louis Park Orioles. It'll be DeLang with his 14th of the year, 8:25 of period number 1. Orono's got their second lead of the hockey game. Yeah, those unforced errors are the things that sink you this time of year. You play a smart brand of hockey, they have a good chance in this matchup, but not with unforced errors. Centering pass, that's a wonderful save. The rebound goes right to Max Sutcliffe. And he's going to end up with his 11th of the year. Parker Jurek needed about 3 more inches on that left leg, but Sutcliffe gets it up and over him, and that lead is now up to 2.
Again, the Orioles not able to clear the zone. I think the defenseman kind of whiffed on the clearing attempt, and it ended up hitting the Orono player that was standing in front of him. Puck about right to Sutcliffe, and he buries it.
That's going to be 2 goals in 21 seconds.
He actually got the shot, and Jurek got this original save, and then the puck was lying there, and he had a wide open net.
That left leg needed to be a little bit longer. He did everything he could to do it himself. It didn't happen, and the second effort foiled him, and 21 seconds later, 2 goals for the visitor. Just a freshman, Sutcliffe with his 11th of the year. Huge goal here for Orono. Still a ton of time left in this period, let alone this hockey game.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick up the assists there. I didn't quite hear all of them.
Bumped in for Jackson Knight, taken away by Leo Schmoll. Like that matchup. Schmoll with it again, off for Anklem. Tries to feed it to Culp. He does so. At the red line, he'll dump it in. They wave off the ice and say it touched a Orono player. Finn Ryder taken away by Orono at the red line. Given to Anklem in his own end. Does the moonwalk. Looks for someone to pass to. Instead says, you know what? I'll do it myself. Steps over the red line. Dumps it in to the right of Lewin. Up the wing for Haggerty. Now out to center ice. Dumped back in again by Anklem. Under 7 minutes left to go in this first period. At one point it was 1-1 in the span of 21 seconds. Orono has taken the 3-1 advantage. Big hit delivered here by Orono, flexing their muscle a little bit, skating with the lead and feeling good about their physicality here midway through this first period. Another big hit. And now here they come. Foster with it. No one to help him out. It's taken away by St. Louis Park. Up the wing. Right now by Reagan, backed in, backhanded in and taken by Anklem at center ice. Now this is Liam McCoy, takes the shot, hits some skates, bounces nicely for St. Louis Park back into that slot area, but nothing more comes of it. Goes all the way down. They wave off the icing. Cam Jackson in pursuit. Jurek under assault once again. Goes all the way through, and luckily this time St. Louis Park able to get it out to center ice.
Yeah, that puck was lying right in the slot there with nobody on it except the red jersey. Fortunately, he was on his backhand. Couldn't get much on that shot.
Shots all of a sudden 9-5 in favor of Orono. Orioles down 3-1. Puck hits some bodies. Haggerty's there. Teddy Rich is there. Haggerty finally gets it off to Teddy Rich. Right in front of the Orono bench. Liam McCoy is there now behind Lewin. Off for Haggerty. Tries to poke it up the wing to Duncan. Duncan from the left point. Blocked by the Spartans, and here they come. Dumped in. They'll get a line change. Duncan out for Schmall. Forward stayed out there. A couple of them anyways. 2/3 of them. Kept in by Orono. Having a hard time getting it past that blue line. That's cost them a couple of times already in this hockey game.
Yeah, it certainly has, Kevin. A couple of clearing chances that have not gotten through, and Orono's converted on them.
Another big hit from Liam McCoy. Just hit Jackson Knight. Shot goes wide of the cage. Beyond the crossbar. Culp trying to create some confusion there. That doesn't work. Goes into the Orioles defensive zone. Cleared out a little too strong for Ollie Culp. That'll be an icing and a face-off coming deep in Park territory. 4:35 left to go in the first, and Orono has jumped out to a 3-1 lead over the home team.
Yeah, and they have outshot the Orioles 9-5 as well. The ice has definitely been tilted in Orono's favor the last few minutes.
For sure. 2 goals in 21 seconds, and now they're able to flex the muscle a little bit. Now it's on the Orioles to get some offensive push going and get some action down on the other end of the ice. That won't help it. Leo Schmoll tries to clear the zone. Instead, he puts it in the pocket of Tyler Broderson. So we'll do the faceoff again to the right of Jurek. 4:30 still left on the clock. Cavern on the dot. One up against Hurdy. One by Cavern. Hurdy emerges with it though. Hurdy all by himself. Down the right wing. Has Finn Rider with him if he can get it to him. Banned on the attempt there by Anklem. Near end on the left side. Looking for a redirection. That didn't work for Leo Schmoll. In the near corner, this will be Anklem again. Oh. Shot by Hurdy, hits a stick and goes into the Vanille banners.
And way up high.
Real high, and then ends up in the protective netting. And the face-off coming.
I think that was Winter who got a stick on, Emerson Winter got a stick on Hurdy's shot and sent it
so
up into the middle.
Because then they get an offensive zone face-off. They will take that down 2 goals. With 4:07 left to go in the first. The captain, Marty Hurdy, only goal thus far for St. Louis Park. He's on the dot, waiting for that puck to drop. It does. It's won by Orono. Up top for Finn Rider at the left wing. Taking off his stick. And now here comes Nokelby. All by himself in the Park defensive end. Anklem. Up the wing for Culp. He's by himself. 2 red bodies there. Takes a nice wrister. Just goes wide of the upper right-hand corner where Hurdy found pay dirt. Sutcliffe now for Orono. Centering pass all by himself. Looking for his second of the game. That one just goes high and wide. All by himself in the slot, and he just failed to hit the target.
Yeah, fortunate break for St. Louis Park. I thought he could have passed that puck back to his partner and would have been wide open.
Nicky Moran back out to center ice. Line change for Broderson's crew on that Orioles bench. A couple of fresh bodies out there for the Spartans as well. Schmoll is out there. He'll spend a lot of time out there. He gets it to his defensive partner, Anklam. He'll dump it in pursuit. This will be Park. Huddock. And Moran up top for Cam Jackson. Far wing. Park trying to get possession there in their offensive zone. Knocked out to center ice. This will be Cam Jackson in pursuit. Nicky Moran with it. Over the blue line. Has Culp if he sees him. Doesn't matter. It's taken away. And he gets stripped of the puck by the Spartans. Arnold's got speed. Coming through neutral ice. Park able to get him off the puck, and Jarek doesn't like what he sees, so he just flings it around the boards. Gets it out to the red line. 2:12 left to go in this first period. Here comes Arnold, centering pass. No, he takes it, hits the outside of the cage. See the ripple, but it was definitely from the outside, from the left point. Another shot hits the outside of the net. Now here comes Park. Led by Brian Duncan, but they do so offsides. Teddy Rich beat him over the blue line, and a face-off coming with 1:52 left to go in period number 1.
Yeah, too bad for the Orioles. Teddy Rich just beat his teammate Brian Duncan in. Took away an offensive zone opportunity, so we'll have a face-off outside Spartan zone. 10-5 shots in favor of the Reds. Orono puts his first line back out there, and
greeted by Haggerty. And that line, the second line for St. Louis Park. Schmoll over for Anklam. Able to gather it in, and he's got ahead of steam down the left side. Looking for the shot. He uses his body to set up the pass. Liam McCoy creates some separation. Hammered into the boards was Teddy Rich. His head just kind of bounced off the inboards. Obviously, no problem. Jumps right back up. Fails to keep it in at the left side was Anklam. Dumped in, though. Hand in the air. Looks like it was offside. Park has to touch up. They do so. Now Liam McCoy has to wait for Haggerty to get back on sides. He does. Gives it to Anklam. He dumps it in. Lewin looks over his right shoulder to see what the heck is happening. Down to a minute, says Howard. In a 3-1 hockey game in favor of the Spartans. A lot of the play has favored Orono. Park did get their one shot. A nice setup for Culp to Hurdy. But that's all the offense they've been able to muster. They get that one shot, one goal, 5 shots total, and they're down 3-1 to the upstart Orono Spartans.
I don't know that they've had a shot in the last 5 minutes.
It's been a while, and it has been a while from up close and personal. They've all been from long range, other than the Hurdy shot and goal. Hurdy an opportunity, 53.7 left on the clock. If he can win this draw, he does. Gets it back clean to Anklam at the left side. Leaves it for Ryder. Takes the shot. Glove saved by Lewin. He had daylight, but Lewin stopped that at the last second. Flashed that leather and keeps it a 3-1 hockey game.
Yeah, and he didn't get it cleanly. And dribbled off his glove, and fortunately for them, it went just wide.
Culp behind his own cage, brings it around the boards to Anklam. Anklam up the wing to Finn Ryder. Grabbed by, it's going to be offsides. A little bit of a miscommunication by Hurdy and Culp. That'll bring the faceoff just outside the Orono defensive end, and that'll leave 21.6 seconds left on the clock.
Game's not over, Kevin. Lots of hockey left. The Orioles proved they could score. They've done a good job so far of keeping that first line off the score sheet. You just got to get some more chances. You're not going to score when you don't get any shots on goal.
Battle of the top lines out there right now to wrap up the first period. 14 seconds and counting. Finn Ryder tries to stop it. He does so, but it comes out to the left circle. and cleared the distance by Orono. One last gasp for Anklam if he hurries. I don't think there's enough time on the clock, and that is it. Period one comes to a close. Promising start, not a great finish, and in the end, after one period of play, the Orioles trail the Spartans 3-1 in St. Louis Park.
Yeah, Orioles just need to get some more shots on goal. They've shown they can score. Lewin definitely is having, I've noticed on the 5 shots that he's taken, the 4 of his saves, he's had troubles with the rebound and controlling that puck. So throw some more shots on him, get some bodies in front of him, and they'll get some chances to score some more goals.
Orono breaks the scoreless tie, 3:32 in, but it's answered just 75 seconds by Marty Hurdy, his 25th of the season and point number 101 of his St. Louis Park career. That evens the score at a goal apiece, but a couple of bad turnovers, a couple of opportunities to get it outside the zone, fails to click, and in the span of 21 seconds, this goes from a 1-1 hockey game to the Orioles trailing 3-1. DeLang and Sutcliffe the goal scorers, and that's your score after one period of play. Shots in favor of the visitors, 10-5 after one. We'll step aside, and then when we continue, we'll bring you the second period in this Class A 2A quarter-final game in the playoffs. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Park TV.
New message.
Your social security number has been suspended. If you do not contact us, your account will be deactivated.
Scammers are aggressive when they contact a potential victim. Social Security Administration employees will never threaten you for information or promise benefits in exchange for information. In those cases, the call is fraudulent and you should just hang up. Don't provide any personal or financial information to these thieves. Call the Social Security Fraud Hotline at 1-800-269-0271.
Seconds as the Orioles take the ice down 3-1 after one period of play. A chance to mount a comeback coming up here in the middle frame. 1-1, 4:47 in, including Marty Hurdy's 25th of the season. But in the span of 21 seconds, the Spartans opened it up, and that's where we sit through one period, 3-1 in favor of the visitors. Parker Jurek stopped 7 of 10 for the Orioles. Max Lewin stops all 5 shots he faced. No penalties called in this game. Thus far, both teams over with the man advantage. So it was a good start by both teams there, Tommy. But as we went through that first period, it felt like things certainly got tilted in favor of the Orono Spartans.
Yeah, they certainly did, Kevin. They, like we said before, I don't know if the Orioles had a shot on goal in the last 6 to 7 minutes of that period. After getting some good pressure earlier, they definitely a couple bad bounces resulted in the Orono goals. A clearing attempt that didn't get out, hit a player, popped right to an Orono player, and he found his teammate right in front of the net. And then another just unlucky puck luck for the St. Louis Park, and Orono buries that. But you know what? That's part of the game, and Orono's converting on those chances. Hopefully the St. Louis Park will get some of those of their own here in the second period.
So here we go indeed, ready to drop the puck. That same matchup that Broderson likes. Top line out there for Orono, second line led by Haggerty out there for the Orioles. Dumped in by Knight, hits a stanchion, and puts it on a tee for Schmall. Out at center ice now for Orono. Knocked down for Knight, taken away by Park, hits that wet ice.
Yeah, puck's
a little bit of a
glued
scramble
to it.
Knight with it. That's the guy to watch for, number 34. Orono scored 3 goals, and none of them have involved him. That's dangerous.
Yeah, because he will probably get his chances.
He will get his chances. It's just a matter of how you limit them. And that was an opportunity there, stopped by Parker Jurek, sent down the length of the ice. Led by Leo Schmall. Schmall behind his own cage. Home run pass, that fails to materialize. Waving at it as it goes by Finn Rider, and that'll bring icing on the call.
Orono's last game, I believe, of the season was against Chanhassen. I think it was 5-1, and Jackson was scored the lone goal for them. So that kept his point streak alive. And he's, like you say, he's probably going to get a goal here at some point tonight. Let's just hope it's not one that puts the nail in the coffin.
Marty Hurdy all by himself from the far corner, puts one at the backhand. Kept in at the point by Jackson, dumps it into the far corner. Played now by Hurdy, looking for a pass. Hounded by that Spartan defense, just out of his reach. Dumped back in by Duncan. Offsides, Park has to touch up, they do so. Lewin leaves it for his defense. D-to-D pass, up the left wing now for Pasqua. Left for Duncan. Duncan struggles with it in his own end. Immediately trying to fish it free. Finally Park up to Culp. Leaves it for Moran. Now for Duncan. Looking up the right wing. Throws it in on net. Bounces it harmlessly into the far corner. Thin Rider is there. He's knocked down, but does get rid of the puck. Orono defense kept in by Park. Takes the shot. Fails to find its target. This will be Jackson. Grabbed by Reagan. Back for Jackson. Dumps it in. He's going for a line change. Nope, he stays out there. A couple other guys, including Ollie Culp, he goes out for a line change. Odd man rush as they hurry, but Orono fumbles with it. Anklem off for Moran. Up the boards. Would have been icing. Oh, that go off the pipe. Did I see that wrong?
No, it didn't hit the pipe. It was rolling.
Okay.
It was rolling. And the goalie saw it was kind of curving as it was rolling away from him.
So a face off to the left of Parker Jurek. Line change here. That's that same scenario. Top line for Orono, greeted by Haggerty and his crew for the Orioles. Left of Jurek. Strong face-off win, just missed the tuck job. Was DeLang looking for his second of the contest. Sets it on a tee for Knight. That just fails to click as he fans on it. Back into the slot. Now it's Schmoll with it. Tries to use his speed to beat the nice little stick move. Takes a shot. He scores! Schmoll all by himself down the right wing. Fancy footwork to get past the Orono defense, and they've cut the lead to one.
Excellent play by Leo there, the senior defenseman. He's got that puck in his own zone and was not going to be stopped. I'm guessing that'll go unassisted. Made a move at the blue line to go around the Orono defenseman. And then beat Lewin again, high glove side. Maybe they know something there.
That's what they're shooting for. .305 of the second, and Leo Schmoll's got his 20th of the season. And the Orioles are in business. Their first shot of the second period finds the back of the net. Now we'll see what this does for their motivation. Howard tells us it in fact was an unassisted goal. Now here comes Orono, trying to set it up for Knight. Takes the shot, saved by Jurek, but it's batted in by that guy that we talked about, Jackson Knight. Goal number 40 on the season, and just like that, they've got that 2-goal cushion once again.
Wow, tough break for the Orioles. Jurek had the puck, and it just squeaked under his arm, was lying there, and defense couldn't beat Jackson Knight to it. It was always got a nose for the net. Orono goes back up by 2. What was that, about
18 seconds.
Yeah, quickly right after.
It's been a game of quick bursts. Park answered the first goal of the contest just 75 seconds later. Then in the span of 21 seconds, it was Orono that regained their 2-goal lead. That's how things ended in the first period. And now 18 seconds apart, it's Schmoll and Knight. And it's back to a 2-goal lead for Orono. Play back underway in the high slot. Knight again takes the shot, saved by Jurek. McCoy with it, trying to get it out. Little wave of the white flag. Fails to get it out of their own end. At the near half wall, just outside, and that will be a big sigh of relief for St. Louis Park. Goes all the way down. They wave off the icing, and that's music to the ears of Liam McCoy. A little bit of a two-car pileup to the right of Lewin. Kept in at the point by Duncan. He takes a shot. McCoy dumped in front of Lewin's cage. McCoy again. Now for Jackson. Here come Spartans. Just manages to keep it onside. Shot from just outside the right circle. Saved by Jurek. And he'll hang on to it.
Orioles have one shot on goal this period, and unfortunately for them it went in, but they still find themselves down by 2 with 12.5 minutes to go in the second period.
Season on the line, Section 2A quarterfinals. You're watching ParkTV. I'm Kevin Falness. That's Tommy Renfer. Paul Broden doing his fantastic, usual great job. Ben and Jet running the cameras.
Little change for Tyler here. He puts his first line out against Orono's first line.
They got to generate some offense. They got to get some pucks on net, as has been evidenced by the fact you just illustrated. One shot on goal, one goal scored in this second period. You're not going to score if you don't shoot the puck. Here comes Orono. Goes into the slot. Leaves it for Schmoll up the left wing. For Hurdy. He takes the shot, hit a stick, flutters in on net. Lewin will make the save and get a face off to his right.
Yeah, Hurdy did get a shot there. Didn't get a lot on it because you say, like you said, it was hit a stick and fluttered a little, and I thought maybe that might cause Lewin some problems, but he was all over that one 12 minutes to go in the second period.
Top line remains out there for Orono. Second line back out there now for the Orioles, led by Haggerty. He's on the dot, going up against Cavern. One eventually by Cavern. Knight with it. Just dumps it in on the red line. A little dump and chase, playing with that 2-goal lead. Teddy Rich. Pass broken up. Behind Lewin's cage. Haggerty. Along with Schmoll. Deep in the offensive end. McCoy now. Big hit delivered. I don't know if they keep track of hits at the high school level, but I'd have to think Liam McCoy's right there at the top.
Yeah, I would think so.
For St. Louis Park. Centering pass. Grabbed by Malik. Now for Teddy Rich. Centering pass for Liam McCoy, and that just fails to click. Pass into the skates of Knight. Grabbed by Haggerty. Harkin, they're rolling in. And this will be Schmoll. And I assume this is
icing.
Man, I really thought he was on this side of the red line.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. The linesman had his hand up like he was signaling icing, and then when the puck crossed the goal line, the official down there didn't blow his whistle.
They're telling Broderson. They're telling the captain. No one's telling us.
Looks like we'll have face-off at center ice, so it was not, in fact, icing, even though the whistle blew.
Yeah, maybe inadvertent icing. There's a sea of red jerseys out there, I'll tell you this much.
Got 2 lines out there.
All right. Order has been restored. Puck will drop at center ice, and it's down. One by Orono. Cross ice pass. Fed over for Nokelby. He'll send it back behind where the NHL trapezoid would be, into the slot. Bad clearing attempt by Ryder. Tried to hit Culp, intercepted by Orono. Sutcliffe. Big chance now for Orono, all by himself on that left hash. Sutcliffe again, all by himself, takes the shot. Nice block in part by Duncan.
Yeah, it was, and then earlier it was Cam Jackson who got a stick on the shot that was going short side on Jurek.
Jackson's in a battle here. He gets it out for Hurdy, and now here comes Hurdy. That's the defense turned around, takes the shot, hit a stick, and once again it's into the netting. We're just about 7 minutes into this second period. Orono still skating with a 4-2 advantage.
Shots on goal here in the second period. We have 6 for Orono and just 2 for the home team, St. Louis Park. Goal apiece. Basically back to back, about 3 minutes into the second period.
Nicky Moran's line out there now. He's the guy on in the circle on the dot. Finally gets it out. Tried to set it up for Anklem. That goes all the way in front of Parker Jurek. Anklem, D-to-D pass to Schmall. He's got one of the 2 goals thus far for St. Louis Park. He's trying to make it a 3rd. Wrist shot save by Lewin.
Wow, what a wrist shot by Leo Schmall. Nice and low at the ice.
3rd shot of the 2nd period by St. Louis Park. That one stopped by the senior netminder.
You know, when he gets a head of steam going through center ice and makes a couple moves, he really becomes an offensive threat from that blue line.
He's a hard individual to want to step in front of.
Yeah.
When he's got that speed and he's got some determination under his skates, man, he's a load. Face-off won by Orono. Kept in at the line by Schmall. In pursuit, it's Haggerty. Up the left wing, here comes Cavern.
Great step by Schmall.
Yep, stolen by Schmall. For McCoy. Drop pass for Haggerty. Tried to feed it up to Rich. Now! Deflection from the right point. Leo Schmall sent it that way. Redirected past Lewin. And it's back to a 1-goal hockey game.
Yeah, that definitely was deflected, although it didn't look like there was any Park player there. So I'm guessing it was deflected by a red, which will give Leo his 2nd goal of the evening.
We'll have to get the official word from Howard. Regardless of who gets it, Schmall's 2nd of the hockey game, 21st of the season, or someone else with the timely redirection. All that matters to Tyler Broderson is the Orioles have struck twice in this middle frame. This one coming at the 7:30 mark. I'll shut up and see if we can get an official word from Howard, who scored that goal.
Yeah. Yeah, Schmall gets the goal.
So there you go. Schmall with his 21st of the season, 2nd of the hockey game from Teddy Rich. 7:30 of the 2nd. And Park is back to within 1. Have never led in this hockey game, but they've had it within a goal a couple of times. Also had a tie at a couple of times. At one point it was 1-1, let's not forget. But Orono's had a quick response each and every time. What do they have up their sleeve? This time, big wrister by Jackson Knight. That one goes wide of the cage. In this hockey game, he's extended his goal streak now to 10 straight games with at least a goal, and he's got 23 goals in that span. Wrister by St. Louis Park, up to the top, played by Jackson. Nice forecheck there by St. Louis Park, all by himself. Shoots, scores! They're waving it off. Oh, Hurdy thought he tied the game with his 2nd of the contest. I thought he tied the game, but the ref emphatically waved it off.
Yeah, and he was right there. I thought there. I don't know how
under duress.
How could that have not have gone in?
Somehow Lewin escaped that one, and it remains a 4-3 hockey game. Goes back the other direction, and this will be Pasqua. Flips it up over the crossbar, and here comes Hurdy again. Fool me once, shame on me. This time, fool me twice. Kick save by Lewin. Rebound for Finn Ryder. Intensity picking up here in St. Louis Park. It's playoff hockey, baby.
Yeah, I was just about to pencil that one in as a goal for sure.
I thought for sure it was. It was really hard to see the angle. I'm not sure how he kept it out, but everyone with a pair of eyes thought that one was back behind Lewin, except for the guy in stripes who emphatically waved that thing off.
He was, you know what, got to give him credit. He was in the right position behind the net. Had a clear shot of it.
I'll guarantee you this much, he doesn't think he was wrong, because he 100% was emphatic on waving that off. Big opportunity there for Sparty. Back out at center ice. Leo Schmall with it. You know, he's got a head of steam. Takes the wrister, hits a body. Practically cripples Tolliver. He's back up on his skates, though. Playing with a little bit of a black and blue mark, I'm guessing, on that right leg. Did a good job of blocking the shot, though, by Leo Schmall. That could not have been fun. Schmall with it again, all by himself. Gets it to his forehand. Looking for the shot. Centering pass. That goes through the slot.
I think maybe he was just trying to find a deflection off someone's skate.
No one was home at the back door, but he did a good job getting it to his forehand. And now suddenly, Park is the team skating in control. Dumped in here, touched by Teddy Rich. Big collision back behind the cage, kept in at the left point by Anklem. Anklem with it, takes the wrister through traffic, rebound, saved by Lewin, another save. Puck on the net comes off its moorings, and they're forced to blow it dead. But the tide has definitely shifted here in favor of the home team.
Yeah, the home orange and white has definitely got things going. Now they're only down by 3 shots on goal. Got the last goal, great play by Schmal, and like you know, it's kind of sad that we don't have replay right now because we'd love to see that one again. I can't believe that didn't go in. He was behind him with the puck on his stick, nobody in the way.
Purdy's hands were up in the air too. He thought that was in. But regardless, still a 4-3 hockey game. Knight with it. Tries to go 1-on-3. That doesn't work. Now this will be Teddy Rich. Back out to center ice. Here comes Park. Leo Schmal by himself. Top of the right circle. Hits some bodies. Goes back behind Lewin's cage. Kept in at the far half wall by Anklem. Centering pass. Intercepted by Cavern. Back out at the red line. Dumped in on Jurek. No icing on that one, so Schmal gathers it in. Looks for an exit strategy. Tried to hit Liam McCoy with a home run pass. Didn't quite materialize. 5:50 left to go in an incredibly important, fun second period. Season on the line for both these squads. Win and you move on in the Section 2A playoffs. Lose, your season is over.
Yeah.
And for some of these seniors, this will be their last game with the St. Louis Park Orioles. Could be their last game ever. Schmal with it! Whoa, big save by Lewin. Had it all by himself at that right circle. He keeps finding daylight. He's already got 2 goals on the hockey game. Nice play by Culp to shut down that opportunity. Nice back check. Up for Hurdy. Hurdy tries a little fancy stick move, trying to go Quinn Hughes on it. Culp with it. That hits a body.
That's got to be out of play.
That hit the rafters. That might have knocked in a snowflake. Who knows? But regardless, a big chance for both sides to catch their breath. But boy, the pace has been frantic. And where Orono owned the first period, St. Louis Park has responded in kind in period number 2.
Yeah, they certainly have. Again, not only down by 2 shots on goal. Looks like Broderson's going to give his third line a chance out there. Haven't seen too much of that line, but it's always nice to give your first and second line a quick breather.
Here they come, the red jerseys. Sutcliffe with it, centering pass alone, saved by Jurek from the right circle. Got his body in front of it, shut down the 2-on-1 attempt.
Comes Neudecker, just lost it off the front of his stick.
Neudecker, and then he's dumped right in front of his own bench. Would have prevented, would have been offsides anyway, so they touch up. Home run pass. Here he comes. Sutcliffe shoot. Saved by Jurek.
Wow, you could see, I saw that one developing from as soon as the Orioles drove the puck in. Sutcliffe just hung out at the Orioles blue line waiting for that long pass.
We call that cherry picking.
Yes, we do.
He got it in full flight, went in all by himself, but Parker Jurek got as wide as he possibly could and thwarted the effort.
You know, those long stretch passes, they can be very hit or miss. If you miss, it's usually an icing, but that was a great catch by Sutcliffe on that long pass.
Top line back out there for Orono, skating with the lead. They got the offensive draw, won by St. Louis Park, though. 4-3 is the score. Orono with the advantage. They send it the length of the ice, so icing is the call. 4:25 left to go in period number 2. Orono still out shooting St. Louis Park 18-14, but Park has held play here most of this second frame.
Yeah, they have 2 of the 3 goals to get them back to within 1.
Both of them going to Leo Schmal. Park defenseman has been prolific. See what he does here. He tries to set up for Liam McCoy. That's knocked away by a nice stick maneuver by the Orono defense. Around the half wall. Schmal with it again. Sees the play develop, leaves it for Anklem, lets him do the dirty work. See if that puck will squirt out to him. Looks for it back behind the cage. Cavern is there to thwart that effort. Cavern with it. Parker Jurek says enough. Just smacks the puck away, gets Cavern's stick with it. Cavern waiting for it though in the far corner. Sends it out front. just failed to work for Ryan DeLange. He's got one of the 4 goals thus far for Sparty. Anklam now had a breakaway goal in the regular season finale against Bloomington Jefferson. Unfortunately, a loss. But a lot of the seniors were really good that night, including Owen Anklam.
Yeah, they were. It was a great effort.
That breakaway was awesome that he had the other night.
Senior night, things didn't go as planned, but in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't matter.
Schmoll looking for the hat trick. Does he got it? Oh, sends it wide. You hear it smash off the windshield back behind Max Lewin. Another centering in the slot. Mad scramble goes into the far corner. Lots of action now. 2:55 left to go in the second. St. Louis Park has Orono scrambling. And that is going to be offsides, I assume. They call it on the dot.
Yeah. Another more great pressure by St. Louis Park. Just having trouble getting it by Lewin. And just when you think the puck's lying behind him, somehow it squirts to the corner or behind or out in the slot. Chances are coming. They hopefully will find the back of the net shortly. There was a play just before that when Orono got the puck and Jackson Knight was standing all alone at center ice with nobody behind him. That stretch pass had gotten through past ankle, and that would have been a breakaway for him.
2.5 minutes left to go in the second period. Talked to Broderson a little bit earlier today, and he said this is a good opportunity for St. Louis Park. They haven't won a playoff game since 2018. Think about the guys that were on that 2018 team. The last time they won a playoff game, Johnny Sorensen, Luke Mobley. This is an opportunity now. They're down 4-3, but they're playing Orono tight.
Yeah,
the Spartan.
That's when they were playing Double-A too.
Yep. This is a great chance. This is as even as it's going to get.
Yeah, it certainly is.
These are two very good teams. They both have their flaws, but both with a chance here. And right now, the upper hand goes to Orono as they skate with a 4-3 lead. But St. Louis Park trying to do something about that late in the second period. Minute 44 and counting. Out in front of Howard. He's got the best seat in the house as they try to see what can come of this. Shot by Ollie Culp, but he's going to draw the penalty. Misses the goal, misses the shot, but draws the penalty, and Reagan's headed to the box for a hook.
First power play opportunity will come to St. Louis Park with a minute 35 in the second period.
Big opportunity here for St. Louis Park, down 4-3 with 95 seconds left to go in period number 2. They'll skate with a man advantage, and with that penalty to Reagan, it sets up the offensive zone faceoff for Marty Hurdy.
Now my concern here is that they get a little complacent on the defensive side of the puck, and when you've got two prolific scorers like Orono does out there, you want to make sure that you button up things back in your own zone.
Puck goes on to Jurek. He doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to put that big oven mitt right over it, and he'll draw the whistle.
I could see Orono here when if they win a face-off, they just send one of those forwards even though they're down already a man, because you can't ice the puck, so the Orono player could literally beat the St. Louis Park player down the ice, pick the puck up.
Face-off won by St. Louis Park. Schmoll to Ryder to Hurdy. Hurdy with it, steps over the blue line, trying to set up that power play. Hurdy sees daylight, takes the wrister, saved by Lewin. Had that 5-hole picked out. Lewin squeezed the pillows. And that'll leave a minute 27 left to go on the power play. 1 minute left to go in period number 2. Schmoll with it at his own blue line, steps over the red line into the Orono end from the right circle. Deep in Sparty territory. Up the right half wall. Culp over for Ryder, for Anklam. Takes the shot, saved by Lewin. Struggled with it a little bit, couldn't get his glove on it. And he remains free. Culp up top for Anklam.
Good patience by Owen.
Cavern. Does so, dumps it into the far corner. Still 50 seconds left to go on the power play. Schmoll with it, looking for his third of the contest. Gives it for Culp. Culp at the right half wall. Up top for Anklam. Feeds it through bodies. Goes all the way through to the end boards. Knocked down by St. Louis Park. 7 seconds left to go in the period. Home run pass, and here comes Knight all by himself. Takes the shot. Saved by Jurek!
Wow.
The save of the game thus far for Parker Jurek. Knight all alone.
Right
Looking
into the
for his
buzzer.
41st of the season. A kick saved by Jurek keeps this a 4-3 hockey game.
Yeah, that goes in. Double whammy, shorthanded goal, and they score right at the end of the period, which is always tough to give up. But a great save by Jurek. Like you said, he just stuck that skate and pad out there, and I'm watching Jackson Knight down here looking. He's like, I can't believe that one didn't go in, shaking his head. Ten shots on goal for the Orioles that period, 9 for Orono.
Good hockey game. Good pace. First period, the Orioles were getting outplayed. They turned the tables a little bit on the Spartans, and now we've got ourselves a hockey game going into that third period. 3 goals scored in that second period. 2 of them go by Leo Schmall, cuts the lead to 1. Jackson Knight did score his 40th of the season in that second period, but stopped with his 41st because of a huge right toe save by Parker Jurek. Saved the hockey game, save of the hockey game for Jurek, and it keeps it a 1-goal game as we get ready for period number 3. We'll break, and then we'll have more here with, my name is Kevin Falness, that's Tommy Renfer, Paul Broden is here, along with Ben and Jet, bringing you all the action via the cameras. Thanks for joining us here for playoff hockey on ParkTV.
Sometimes there's no do-over. Some things you can't rewind. That's when an extra safety step could mean the difference between a close call and a call to 911. Simple steps save lives. Learn more at poolsafely.gov.
And we bring you back for the third period to Journey. Don't stop believing, and that's the mantra for the St. Louis Park Orioles, battling from behind this entire hockey game. They're still down 4-3 entering period number 3, but they still have 26 seconds left to go on the man advantage when we drop the puck. You can see the Orioles entering the playing surface wearing those white jerseys, soon to be followed by Sparty, the Orono Spartans in Section 2A quarterfinal playoff action. The 4th-seeded Orioles, like I said, have battled from behind all game long, down 3-1 after 1 period of play. They get a couple on the board in the second. Both of them go to Leo Schmall, his 20th and 21st of the season. Still, after 2 periods of play, they trail the visitor 4-3. Parker Jurek between the pipes. Stops 15 of 19 thus far. Max Lewin for the Spartans has stopped 15 of 18. We'll see what happens here, Tommy. Period 1 belonged to Orono. Period 2, in my humble opinion, belonged to St. Louis Park. That leaves it a coin flip for this third period. Who wants to come and get it?
Yeah, I agree. It was shots on goal 13-9 in favor of the Orioles in the second period. Like you said, they will start second period with 26 seconds remaining on their power play and a fresh sheet of ice.
Both of these teams, by the way, sputtering down the stretch. The Orioles have won just 3 of 10 since January 13th, going 3-4-3. Orono has won just 4 of 10 since January 16th, 4-5-1 over that same span. The difference, though, they've got playoff credentials. Do the Orono Spartans? They've been to the 12 trips to the postseason, 12 times to state, including winning it in 2018, 3-time defending 2A champs. Park, on the other hand, have not won. They've been to the state 6 times, but have not won a playoff game since 2018. They're trying to exercise that demon tonight, and they've got 17 minutes to get it happen, and we'll start the third period on the power play. Puck is down, dumped in by Orono. St. Louis Park with it, up the left wing. This is Anklum. Drives the cage, hits the outside of the net. Pucks jumps up into the protected netting. Face-off coming here. Just 20 seconds into the third period and just 6 seconds left to go on the power play.
Anklum took the puck all the way coast to coast and tried to beat Lewin on the over his shoulder as he went down, butterfly. Just hit the outside of the net, and then it came back. Orono popped it off an Oriole player up into the netting, so we'll have a face-off.
Face-off coming, won by Orono, kept in by Schmoll. Swings it in on net, full strength. That means 5-on-5 hockey. Until the next transgression. Stick knocked out of the hands of the Orono defense. Centering pass up top for Schmoll. Wrister, that hits the stick and goes into netting. Face-off coming, just 43 seconds into period number 3, and a herky-jerky start to this final frame.
Yeah, Jackson Knight with the stick on that shot from Schmoll to put the puck up over top of Lewin into the netting. Looks like Orioles are coming out with their first line. So that line basically staying out there as they started the period on the power play.
Got into the skates, wrangled free by Orono, kept in at the right point by St. Louis Park. Here comes the Spartans, right in front of the student section. They're standing proud, hoping to will this team to a victory. Culp touches it just as it goes out to center ice. And now it's Finn Ryder. He's got a breakaway if he hurries. Big defensive effort by Bradstock of the Spartans. Almost daylight for Finn Ryder.
Yeah, he just got a stick on that. There was a
bouncing puck
chance
for St. Louis Park. Schmoll up top. Get Haggerty.
That wrist shot just went wide, and I don't think Lewin saw that at all.
Schmoll again. He's deep. He might be a defenseman, but you'll catch him deep in the offensive territory all the time.
Yeah, you just hope that his forward is back covering for him when he does that.
Breakaway here for. That could be a penalty shot. It's definitely a penalty. They're not calling the shot. They just call it a tripping. Probably save the goal, at least a point-blank chance there.
Yeah, we'll get Orono's first chance on the power play. Are they talking about maybe a penalty shot here?
I can't believe they didn't give him a penalty shot.
No, 2 for tripping.
I can't see. Thank you. So it will just be a penalty, and that's going to be Teddy Rich in the box. So that's going to set up the power play for Orono, already skating with the lead. Cavern on the dot. You know that big line's out there with a man advantage for the Spartans trying to put this one away.
Big kill for St. Louis.
And it trickles through the 5-hole, squirts in from the near corner. Cavern drives it into the paint, gets a 5-hole on Jurek, and it's a power play marker.
At 1:56.
Minute 56 into the third.
He just made a strong move to the net. Jurek wasn't able to get either the stick or the pad down on the ice. Looks like it just slid right underneath him or through him. Puts Orono back up 2 on their first shot of the third period. I was going to say that would have been that penalty kill would have been huge for St. Louis Park, because you know that Orono's got firepower up there and they convert quickly.
Well, it's not new territory for Park. They've trailed in the hockey game almost the entire way, and that's where they are again. Down 2. Puck comes free to McCoy. Back up top to Schmoll. 2 goals in the second period for Schmoll, looking for the hat trick. Takes the shot. That hits traffic. Goes into the near corner. Eddie Rich there. Far half wall. Played by Rich. Grabbed here by St. Louis Park. Hanklum. Wrister through traffic.
Great idea by Owen there, waiting for some traffic in front of him.
Flyby. Here comes Sutcliffe again. Sutcliffe 2-on-1. Takes the shot, saved by Jurek. Shuts down that 5-hole. One-timer. Fails to deliver for Pasqua. Haggerty. Up for McCoy. McCoy through center ice. Leaves it off for Schmoll. Back for McCoy. Up for Schmoll. Big collision in front of Broderson and his bench. Another one. As McCoy's driven to the ice by Cavern. Cavern with it on his stick. Sends it into the slot. Jackson Knight couldn't make that one work. Little game of keep away. Puck is free, and it ends up behind Jurek. Wheels are coming off in a hurry to open up this third period.
That's Cavern
That'll be
again.
Cavern with his second in about a minute or so.
Yeah.
The Orioles are down 6-3.
At 3:21, the first one was at 1:56, so about a minute and a half. Yeah. Cavern scores. That one there'll be an assist on. I'm not sure who they'll give it to. See if I can pick it up.
Timeout for Tyler Broderson. Probably a good decision there by the head coach for the Orioles in his 4th year. Up against it now with just 13:39 left to go in regulation. See if we can get the goal call from Howard.
Yeah.
3:21 is the time of the goal.
Yeah, Jackson Knight had an assist on that last goal from Cavern.
At least a 2-point outing for Knight, including his 40th of the season. It's the assist on Cavern's 9th. Make that his 10th of the season, 2nd of the 3rd period, and all of a sudden the Orioles are up against it.
Yeah, 2 quick goals from Cavern brought them to a 3-goal lead. And definitely not the start that Coach Broderson was looking for as the Orioles came out on the power play. Only 26 seconds left, but couldn't convert. Orono goes right to the power play, scores quickly. I think it's another one a minute and a half later. Orioles find themselves with a big hole to dig themselves out of.
Timeout is over. Purdy on the draw. You got both the top lines for each squad. Ref doesn't like what he sees. The encroachment on the center ice, but finally gets that puck down. And it's played now by the Spartans. Culp with a big hit right in front of Howard. Back behind Parker, playing it behind his cage. Off now for Schmull. Schmull runs into Hurdy, leaves it for Hurdy on the right wing. Centering pass, takes the shot. Goes high and wide. Ends up at center ice all the way down from the velocity of that wrister.
I think it's still enough time. The Orioles don't have to take chances and, pinch their defense yet, but we're going to be getting close.
The great Bob Kurtz once told me, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and that's what you got to do here. You got to get that first goal before you can tie it up. So they got to eat into that sizable lead here by Orono. Icing will be the call. 12:49 left to go in regulation. Orono skating with a 6-3 advantage.
Yes, we're going to see a lot of the Orioles' first line for the last 12 and a half minutes of this 3rd period as they're staying out there right now. I guess there's nothing to say for it. Oh, here we go. We're going to switch. I was going to send their second line out.
Haggerty, McCoy, and Moran. On the blue line, it's Anklem and Schmull.
And those are the 2 guys you're going to see a lot of ice time from.
Without a doubt. Flipped out to center ice. Headed that by the skate of Schmull. Red jersey just dumps it in. Anklem in pursuit. For Moran. Left now by Schmull. With a head of speed. Takes it all by himself. Tries to split the defense. Just fails to click. Goes into the far wall. Left in by McCoy. McCoy around the dot. Orono's got it. Back for St. Louis Park. No home run pass there for McCoy. Dumped in by the Spartans. 12 minutes left to go in regulation. 12 minutes left to go in the Orioles season. If they don't get something going here in a hurry. Line change for the vast majority of the Orioles. Get some fresh legs out there. Kept in at the line by Finn Rider and Marty Hurdy. Hurdy with it from the right circle. Takes the shot. That one goes through a sea of bodies at the left point. Hurdy with it again. All by himself. Takes the shot. Saved by Lewin. Some rough stuff ensues. No arms going up. Moran pushed to the ice.
Yeah, the official's just shaking his head. No. Moran's pleading his case.
Park 0 for 1 on the power play, and of course, Orono 1 for 1 as they get Well, that first goal of the third period goes to Cavern, his first of 2. The first one is on the power play. The dust settles. No penalties. Will remain 5-on-5. Top line's back out there for both squads. Face off one. Finn Ryder the shot. Saved by Lewin. But he just kind of left it out there in no man's land.
Yeah, another big rebound given up by Lewin.
Laverne tries to squeeze down the right wing. Hammered off the puck by Jackson. Here comes Park. Ryder tries to get to it. Just out of his reach. Back out at center ice. Behind his cage for the Spartans. Home run pass. Too strong. Face-off coming. Just 10:58 left to go in regulation and the season for one of these two teams.
Yeah, there was that long stretch pass from Orono looking for Jackson Knight. As we said before, Cherry picking up on the Orioles blue line, missed completely, and we'll have a face-off back to Lewin's right.
Pointing at something out here. Some debris has found its way to the playing surface. Ref came back and got it. Puck is down. Small. To the body once again. Tichy, the guy who started the scoring for the hockey game and for Orono. As the puck go off his stick. Odd man rush for St. Louis Park if they hurry, and they do. It's Hurdy. Look, uses Ryder as a decoy, gets it on net. Shut down on the short side by Lewin. And the face-off coming as he covers it.
Excellent job by Hurdy to get down the right side, and then even a better job by the defenseman there. I thought Hurdy was going to get her all the way around him, and the defenseman caught up and got his stick on that and didn't allow the centering pass to Ryder, who was waiting right out in front with a wide open net. Defenseman for Orono to save the goal there.
Miscommunication here. Schmoll finally comes back. He was going to get some direction from Broderson. Face-off won by Orono, so they have to hurry back. Park's got it though. Liam McCoy behind his own cage. Up the right wing. Now for Haggerty. Big collision right in front of the door. At the Orono blue line in front of the student section. Grabbed now by Anklo, a senior defenseman. Prolific career here in St. Louis Park.
Heads up.
Isn't ready to see it end. Puck hits the Orono student section here.
10 minutes to go in the third period. Got a souvenir for one of the fans. Oh, it's coming back on the ice.
Like they're in the right field bleachers at Wrigley. Thank you very much. Face-off coming at center ice. 10 minutes. 10:02 left to go in regulation. 6-3 in favor of the Spartans. Duncan. D-to-D pass. Nokelby. Out to center ice. This will be Pasqua at the left wing. Throws it on net. High and wide. Up top for Pasqua again from the left circle. Blocked nicely by Haggerty. In the slot, takes the shot, bouncing puck again. Saved by Jurek.
Wow.
Somehow with his stick out of his hand, kicked out that left pad and kept it out of his cage.
Great save by Parker Jurek. Going to take his helmet off, give himself a little breather, give a squirt of water, but wow, yeah, he stuck that pad out. Saved a goal for sure goal. It was a wide open net. Last line of defense between him and Orono's 7th goal. Orono comes back with their first line.
As does the Orioles. As does Tyler Broderson. Birdie against Cavern. Puck is down, won by Cavern. Shot for Knight. High and wide of its target, but it had some velocity. Finn Ryder in pursuit. Knight's got it. Dances and weaves. Grabbed here by Ryder. Behind Parker Jurek. 9:12 left to go in that young man's high school career too, if his offensive component doesn't get started. One of 7 seniors, including Owen Anklin, who's got the puck on his stick. Leaves it for Ryder. Goes through him and ends up to Bradstock. Bradstock off the wing, takes the shot, saved by Jurek. Sends it aside. Purdy at center ice. Dumped in by Orono. Played by Anklum. 8:43 left to go in regulation. Park down by 3. Tension starting to rise a little bit. Second period was in favor of St. Louis Park despite trailing in the hockey game. Go up to the third, and Orono has opened this thing up.
Yeah, 2 quick goals, 3.5 minutes into the period.
Both by Cavern. This will be offsides. Leo Schmull beat the play over the blue line. Some rough stuff there for Finn Ryder. Emerson Winter had him tangled up along the half wall.
Clock starting to become a factor for St. Louis Park.
Big time.
Basically halfway through the third period.
Nicky Moran on that draw. Has it in front of the Orono bench. Orono in their own end. Directs traffic out to center ice. Ollie Culp leaves it for Anklum. Anklum keeps it himself. 3 guys with him. That one for Huddick. Oh, just dumped in. Delayed offside. They touch up. We're back underway.
Should be icing.
That will be icing, and that means Max Lewin's going to get company in the Orono end.
Perfect pass from Jurek down to the linesman, waiting to drop the puck.
Leo Schmull scored twice in the second period. His second one would be his 21st of the season. And that point, Park was within 1. But it's 2 quick ones for the Sparty in period number 3, including a power play marker to open up the final frame. And those 2 goals by Cavern have opened up a 6-3 lead for the visitor. Nice opportunity here for Sparty on the backhand. That'll be Pasqua. And that could be lights out for the season on the breakaway.
Yeah, St. Louis Park defensemen got to take some chances, pinched up, and then their last line of defense crossed the blue line and got snake bit, fell down, and came at 2-on-0, and Pasqua decided to keep it himself and went backhand over the shoulder of Jurek, and that makes it 7-3 with 7:46 to go in the third period.
3 consecutive goals for Orono, including Pasqua's 9th of the year, 9-14 of the third, and it's a 4-goal chasm between these 2 squads.
Yeah, Orono doesn't have to score any more goals. They could just literally dump the puck in, cross the red line, dump the puck in the rest of the game and play defense.
Still got that top line out there for them, and you know the Orioles are going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, to keep their season alive. You got to get some activity. Up behind Parker Jurek. Tried to squeeze one in there. That was Cavern looking for the hat trick. Out for Duncan. Up the wing for Anklum. He'll rim it around the end boards.
There's a penalty coming up on Orono.
It's a glimmer of hope here for the home team. Touched up by the Spartans. And the Orioles will get their second power play of the game. Thus far 0 for 1 with a man advantage. And as we said, Orono is 1 for 1.
I think they're going to get Bradstock for roughing on the other side of the rink. When Anklum came across with it, he dumped the puck in, and then Bradstock just leveled them. Need a quick goal here, like they need to breathe.
Keep hope alive without a doubt. Cleared though by the Orono PK. Jurek gets it, leaves it for Anklum. Anklum coming the other direction. Drop pass for Schmull. Schmull up the wing for Ryder. Leaves it for Culp. And here comes Orono. Suffice to just dump it in. Drag some time off the clock. Anklum takes it over the blue line, squeezed out the puck at the near half wall, and sent the length of the ice there by the Orono PK once again.
That was a great play by Drew Knockleby Just pinched Anklam off and then got the puck.
Great forecheck here by Jackson Knight. For Schmall. Purdy up to Schmall once again. Schmall on the power play. Tries to dance through. He does, but couldn't get the shot away. At the right point. Over for Hurdy. At the left circle. Tries to get it through. Does, off the mask of Lewin. Did it go through? Oh, it was sitting behind him. Tried to stuff it in the short side. And instead it's sent all the way down, much to the delight of the Orono crew.
30 seconds remaining in the power play for St. Louis Park.
Cam Jackson gives it off for McCoy. McCoy will try to go in from the right circle. Dumped all the way down once again.
Fanned on that shot.
Brilliant penalty kill thus far for the team skating with a 4-goal advantage. Bobbled on the shorthanded attempt. Saved by Jurek. That came from the top of the left circle by Malik.
Shots on goal 25-23 in favor of Orono. But where it matters, they've scored 3 goals this period. You know, we were talking about keeping that top line off the board. Unfortunately, 3 of their last 4 goals have been scored by that top line. Kind of opened things up for Spartans.
Ryan Duncan, senior defenseman, leading the offensive attack. Heard Howard say it's back to 5-on-5 hockey. Behind Lewin. Left from Malik. The far half wall. Throwing just over the blue line. Dumped in.
Thought that should have been icing.
They decide not to blow that one. Haggerty up for Moran. 2 guys just waiting for any type of offensive thrust for St. Louis Park. Back into the paint. Knocked aside by the Orono defense. From Duncan. From the left point. Back up top. From a long ways out. Shoots, he scores! Anklam redirected. And a glimmer of hope with 4:22 left to go.
I think that's Nicky Moran who got the deflection on the shot from Anklam at the point. Yeah, number 22, Moran. Might be a secondary assist. 12:38 of the third period. Gets St. Louis Park within 3. Shots all even at 25. We'll see if there was a secondary assist on the deflection by Moran from Anklam at the point.
Ollie Culp on the draw here. They get it free. Anklam with it again at the right half wall. Ooh, a chance there for Finn Ryder. Just couldn't quite get to it. To tip it back under the back door. Hot man rush. Fans on it again is Knight. Jackson Knight. DeLang. That was a bad angle for him. Parker swallows it up. Closes down the 5-hole. We're just under 4 minutes left to go in this hockey game, down by 3.
Yeah, couldn't quite pick up that second assist on the last St. Louis Park goal.
They did say Nicky Moran?
Yes.
Good for him. 5th of the year, redirection from the Anklam shot. Glimmer of hope. Anklam again for Culp. Now for Hurdy. Over the blue line. Over 100 points in his career with St. Louis Park. The
St. Louis Park has pulled his goalie.
We're down to 6 on. We're up to 6 on 4. 6 on 5. Sorry. Unable to get that one. It goes all the way out to center ice and down to 3.5 minutes left to go. 6 on 5. Trying to close the gap to within 2. Hurdy.
Here's where you got to make sure when you're crossing the blue line, you get the puck in deep. Don't give it up at the blue line.
Hurdy with it again. A nice little toe drag. Pushed into the far corner. Schmall has it. That was Finn Ryder to try. He saw the bouncing puck. The kid Lewin put his glove over it as he went for it. And now we got some rough stuff. Leo Schmall's in it. Winter's in it.
That's one player the Orioles cannot afford to lose is Schmall.
Nope, not when you're trying to dig out of a 3-goal hole. They didn't like that. Ryder was the guy that flew the crease. And it's going to be a power play. On the ball then, only one guy's going. Tyler Broderson and the St. Louis Park Orioles will take that. Nokelby to the box. And is that going to be a power play? That'll give us 6-on-4 with 3:10 left to go in regulation.
Looks like.
I'd be shocked if they didn't send two.
Yeah,
one each.
I would be shocked as well.
But it doesn't look like it. No one's opening the door on the other side. There's some conversation going there with the Orono staff. And that door
is not open.
No. Howard's left remains sealed. And that's going to set up they already used their timeout, but they can kind of use this as a timeout while they try to figure things out, try to explain what's going on here. Again, Orioles are still down by 3 goals, but this power play is massive.
Yeah, it certainly is. They get 3. They basically got to score a goal a minute here, and if they could get it right here quick, that would be a huge advantage. Let's see, 2-4-6. Yeah, they're going to still keep the goalie pulled, so they will skate 6-on-4.
That could really make things interesting if they can find the back of the net here quickly. The backsides would start to tighten for those guys in those red sweaters.
Yeah, it certainly will. The one advantage that Orono does have is they can ice the puck.
Offensive zone faceoff. It's down. One eventually by Hurdy up top for Anklam. Takes the shot. Save. He scores! Leo Schmall on the power play. His 3rd of the game. Throw the hats. There's life at the rec center.
Wow. On the shot, was that Anklam on the shot from the point? I couldn't tell. Rebound came and big Leo Schmall standing right in front of the net where he belongs.
That took all of 6 seconds, right? 3:10 left to go on the clock. 6 seconds into the power play, and they're back within spitting distance of the Spartans.
Let's see if they give any assists to Richard.
Good luck hearing it. If you get it, let me know.
Yeah, no kidding. With all the fan noise in here, it's hard to hear Howard.
I get an opportunity to hear it. Culp, I think he said Culp.
Yep. So it was Culp took the shot from the point.
8 instead of 28, but regardless, comes at the 13:56 mark. Still 2:56 left to go in this one. Parker Jurek will stay between the pipes because it's a defensive zone faceoff here for the Orioles. Some conversation going on here. They get the thumbs up. Back out of the circle, and the puck is down. Won by St. Louis Park. Anklam throws it off the glass. Ends up at the red line. Finn Ryder shot for Ollie Culp. Well, you want to make things interesting. Score another quickie. Marty Hurdy's there, puts it on his stick, grabs it with his hand, leaves it for himself. Back to Anklam, Jurek to the bench. Back to 6-on-5. Flings it on net. Lewin makes that save, but Jurek is back on the bench, and Tyler Broderson and the St. Louis Park Orioles trying to stage a miraculous comeback.
Yeah, that shot from Anklam out at the point. Finn Ryder was standing right in front. I think he was looking for a little deflection maybe or a screen. Unfortunately, Lewin was able to see that all the way and globbed it, and will have a face-off to his right with 2:36 to go here in the 3rd period.
Still time to get it done. They don't like what they saw, so they'll do that draw again. Hurdy was practically standing on his head after they dropped that puck. They blow it dead. They don't like it again. Take a breath, ref. There we go. Puck is down finally. Won eventually by Orono at the left half wall for Schmall. Trickles all the way down. He'll go out of harm's way, but Culp is a long ways away from where he needs to be. Leaves it for Hurdy. Hurdy over the red line. Puck goes deep.
Over the netting.
The stick into the netting and by the spectators back behind the glass. That should bring the face off. Stay in the zone, right? It probably went off the, you assume, Orono's stick.
Yeah, I think it did.
So it looks like it'll be to the right of Lewin. Offensive zone face-off for St. Louis Park. Jurek still next to the rest of his team on the bench. 6-on-5 hockey. 2:15 left to go in regulation. Season on the line, down by 2 goals. Culp on the draw. Bounces. Off for Liam McCoy. Bounces into blue paint. No one could gather it in. That was in no man's land for a long time. Shuji scores! Shot from the left point by Ankle. Put behind Lewin. And 2:05 left to go in this hockey game. They're back within one.
That was Ollie Culp, the senior, picking up the garbage in front of the net again. Unbelievable comeback by St. Louis Park. Scored 3 goals in basically just over 2 minutes.
At one point, Orono was skating with a 7-3 lead. That's down to 1, and there's still 2:05 left to go on the clock. And here we go. What a finish this is going to be. Quarterfinal playoff action here in Section 2A. Buckle up for a crazy 2 minutes towards the finish line. And here we go. Still got to get that game-tying goal, but they've whittled this down to just 1 goal. Who would have thought this would even be possible?
Yeah, that's
considering
for sure.
where we were maybe 15 minutes ago. For Hurdy, top slot, shoots it. Wow, I thought that one might have found its way home. Jurek's looking for direction. Should he stay or should he go? That one goes through the crease.
Jurek's in.
Jurek's to the bench. Hurdy with the shot. That goes over the crossbar. Schmall deep in his own in the offensive zone, trying to get it free. 75 seconds left to go in this hockey game. Park down by a goal. Orono happy to just tie it up in their defensive end, trying to get some bodies in there. Squirts free finally, and Ollie Culp is in pursuit. Kept in at the line. Oh, it just squirts free. Anklin couldn't seal it. Dumps it in. Leo Schmall looking to gather it in at the near half wall through that student section. Hurdy again off the bank board. Centering pass all by himself. Save by Lewin. Save of the game for Lewin thus far. Far half wall kept in. Sent all the way down by Jackson Knight, and that's going to be an icy. 31.8 seconds left to go. Down by a goal, 6 on 5, and here comes the offensive zone draw.
I can't remember. Has Orono used their timeout?
They have not used
I don't
their
think they
timeout.
have. Maybe they will here to give their guys a rest, because they've been out there. Although that gives St. Louis Park a chance for rest too. So
31.8 seconds left to go in this playoff classic. Culp on the draw. All the big guns you'd expect to be out there for St. Louis Park are. Can they keep it in at the left point? No, it squirts out to center ice. DeLang with a chance to bury it, and he does. That should pretty well seal it. With 21.9 seconds left to go, Orono finally able to breathe a deep sigh of relief. And that might be lights out for the 2025-26 season for the St. Louis Park Orioles.
yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't really see what was going down in front of us to see how that puck came out or what happened, but ended up with empty net, 2-on-1. And that was DeLang.
Down by 2, 21 seconds left to go in the contest. They're going to pull Jurek for the remainder to this point. They're just going to take that draw 6 on 5. Puck is down. St. Louis Park unable to get it. Open net again to our broadcast right. Leo Schmall trying to gather it in. Set up for DeLang. And that will be the icing on the cake. DeLang's 3rd of the hockey game, 16th of the season. Now the score is anything but nice as St. Louis Park trails 9-6.
What a game. 15 goals, including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the 3rd period here.
I've run out of room. I've waved the white flag. My stat keeping is over for
My
the night.
score sheet is full. It's like going 15 or 16 innings in baseball. You run out of places to keep score on the score sheet.
Puck is down, 9 seconds and counting, and that should about do it for a fantastic season for the St. Louis Park Orioles. Final moments, and you see the red jerseys celebrate a playoff victory. They take down the St. Louis Park Orioles 9-6 today at the Rec Center in the Section 2A quarterfinals.
Tough loss for St. Louis Park. Boy, did they make that game interesting for the fans and 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 the Spartan fans even as well, right at the end, scoring 3 goals in the last 3 minutes of the game. I mean, we said they were down 3 goals with 3 minutes to go. We said they basically needed to score a goal a minute, and they got 2 within 1 minute to get it to 1, and then just couldn't keep the puck in the zone. 2 empty netters. It's the end of the season for St. Louis Park. Good season, though, for the team.
And a final chance to salute those seniors. We had senior night against Bloomington Jefferson in the regular season finale, and now this will bring a close to some really good careers. The seven seniors in all for the St. Louis Park Orioles. We won't name them by name, but they know who they are. What a great season, and what a great career by one guy in particular, Marty Hurdy. Man, the senior graduates with 100 points in his pocket, including point number at least 101 tonight.
Yeah, we weren't able to pick up all the assists on the goals, but yeah, 100 points in a season is quite an accomplishment. That's 30+ points a season if you were playing, assuming you were playing sophomore, which he was. They're all shaking hands, giving each other hugs, going to talk to some of the other players that they know. A lot of these players have probably played, you know, maybe summer or elite fall together, some of the better players. So St. Louis Park's season comes to an end. Orono moves on probably to face the #1 seed in Delano. I don't know. I believe they were playing tonight against Laconia. I think they beat Mountain West, or the West Tonka team, a couple nights ago to advance. So Delano will get the #5 seed. Orono next. I think that's on the 24th is the game,
24th,
so Tuesday
at 5 o'clock right here at the Rec Center. And that'll bring a close to the 2025-26 season for the Orioles. They'll finish up at 11-12-3. They go 6-4-1 at the Rec Center. And against Orono, they go 0-1-1 on the season series, losing in a tie in the regular season. But the one that hurts the most is the one that brings their season to an end. Right here in front of the home crowd, they lose 9-6 in the Section 2A quarterfinals. Tommy, any final words before we wrap it up?
Yeah, it's a tough way to go. You know what, I always enjoy looking forward to the St. Louis Park boys hockey season. I get to do this with you and, you know, my son once in a while, and sometimes the dads. When you're available, Kevin, I always enjoy doing games with you. Look forward to watching some of these guys come back next year, including big #10 Leo Schmall, who will be a senior leader for this team next year. He, Nicky Moran. And then, of course, we'll have Finn Ryder will be a junior next year. There's the St. Louis Park team saluting their fans. It'll be fun next year.
Yep, and it feels like it's a long ways away. We got a lot of hockey to get through between now and then, including the Boys State High School hockey tournament coming up in St. Paul. But that'll do it for now. Paul Broden doing a great job. Always great working with you and the group here at ParkTV. That includes Ben and Jet bringing us all the pictures via those cameras. And, of course, to my broadcast partner, Tommy Renfer. I'm Kevin Falness. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the playoffs, and we'll see you next fall on ParkTV.